Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a reality where K-pop royalty meets unimaginable financial empire. It is the year 2026, and the boys we watched grow from a small dusty practice room in Seoul have evolved into global titans, reshaping economies and defining culture with a mere wave of their hands. We aren't just talking about chart-topping hits or sold-out stadium tours anymore. We are diving deep into the private velvet-roped vaults of high-stakes investments, sprawling luxury real estate holdings, and multi-million-dollar brand deals that shatter historical records. The landscape has shifted, and the question on everyone's lips is no longer, who is the most popular? But rather, who possesses the ultimate financial dominance? Is it the mastermind producer collecting royalties in his sleep every time a radio plays? The charismatic face of global fashion houses who turns fabric into gold? Or the silent, calculated tycoon who played the stock market better than Wall Street? We are about to unravel a countdown so intense, so lavish, and so shocking that it might just rewrite what you think you know about wealth and success. From smart, hidden investments to blindingly expensive assets that scream luxury, we are trekking towards the absolute summit where one member has done the unthinkable, crossing the legendary trillion mark. Who holds the golden keys to the kingdom? Who has secured the bag so tight it's bursting at the seams? Fasten your seatbelts, keep your eyes on the numbers, and prepare to have your mind blown as we unveil the top 7 BTS members with the highest ATM balance in 2026. Number 7. Kim Seokjin, the ageless aristocrat of Hanam, the variety titan who turns laughter into liquid gold. We kick off this astronomical countdown with a man whose face alone is insurable for billions. It was the eldest brother who has aged backward while his bank account has catapulted forward into a dimension of wealth that is frankly dizzying to comprehend. Yes, sitting comfortably at the number 7 spot in 2026 is none other than the worldwide handsome himself, Kim Seokjin. Though a figure who proves that true luxury isn't just about spending money, it's about an aura of timeless elegance that no amount of cryptocurrency can buy. You might be scratching your head, wondering, how is Jin, the man with the Midas touch in variety shows, and the darling of the general public, starting the list at number 7? Well, brace yourselves, because this is exactly why this list is so terrifyingly competitive. In 2026, last place on a BTS wealth list essentially means you are richer than the GDP of a small island nation. Let's rewind the tape and look at the hard facts that have built this mountain of gold. By 2026, Seokjin has fully transitioned from being just an idol to a heavy-hitting media mogul and a savvy investor with a portfolio that screams old money aesthetic. Remember his legendary discharge from the military in 2024? That wasn't just a return, that was a market correction. The moment he stepped back into civilian life, stocks rallied, and brands started a bidding war that is still being studied in economics classes today. We have to talk about his ironclad alliances with high-end luxury houses like Fred and Gucci. By 2026, these aren't just ambassadorships. These are legacy partnerships where Jin likely holds equity or revenue, share agreements, meaning every time someone buys a diamond bracelet or a textured loafer because they saw it on his pristine wrist, his ATM balance ticks upward while he's fast asleep playing video games. Speaking of video games, we cannot ignore the MapleStory effect. What started as a fanboy obsession has evolved into a lucrative side hustle, where his collaborations with Nexon have generated revenue streams that would make professional esports teams jealous, proving that Jin is the only man who can spend thousands on in-game items and earn millions back just by talking about it. But where does the bulk of this massive fortune sleep at night? We have to zoom in on real estate, specifically the prestigious Hanam the Hill. While others were buying flashy penthouses in new developments, Jin played the long game, holding on to premium units in one of Seoul's most exclusive fortress-like complexes. By 2026, the value of these properties has skyrocketed due to urban scarcity, turning his home into a vault that appreciates every single second. But there is a new secret weapon in his 2026 portfolio that insiders are whispering about his venture into the traditional alcohol industry. Following his passion project with brewing master Park Rockdam, rumors in 2026 suggest that Jin's exclusive line of traditional liquor, perhaps named something whimsical like Moonlit Sip, has become the status symbol drink for Korea's elite. Sold out months in advance and trading on the black market for thousands of dollars per bottle. This venture combines his love for culture with sharp business acumen, creating a high-margin product that requires zero promotion because his name is the promotion. And let's not forget his payout from HYBE dividends. As a significant shareholder, every global success of the company funnels directly back to him. Yet, despite this colossal wealth, the most emotional and endearing part of Jin's financial story is how he uses it. He is still the Hyung who whips out the black card, the kind made of anodized titanium that you only get by invite to pay for team dinners, staff vacations, and family gifts without blinking an eye. His wealth is happy wealth, used to facilitate joy, good food, and comfort. He isn't chasing the volatile crypto trends or risky tech startups. He invests in things he can touch, taste, and enjoy. He is the epitome of the rich CEO K-drama trope come to life, but with a heart of gold and a dad joke ready to fire. In 2026, Kim Seokjin stands as a titan of stability, proving that you don't need to be the loudest in the room to have the deepest pockets. You just need to be the smartest, the most handsome, and the one who knows that the best investment you can ever make is in your own timeless brand. Can you imagine having a bank balance so high that you can treat a luxury car purchase like a grocery run? That is the reality of our number 7, but hold on tight, because if the worldwide handsome is here at the bottom of the list, just imagine the monstrous fortunes waiting for us as we climb higher. Number 6. Park Jimin, the graceful king of brand reputation, the living art piece who turns influence into infinite riches. We are moving up the ladder of astronomical wealth, and at number 6 sits the man who doesn't just wear luxury, he defines it. The Busan prince who has transformed his captivating charm into a financial gravity, well, that pulls in millions of dollars with a single hair flip. Standing on the glittering podium of 2026 is Park Jimin, a figure whose net worth is as beautifully curated as his contemporary dance lines, proving that in the new era of entertainment, soft power is the hardest currency of them all. You might be wondering how the angel of the group, the one known for his empathy and sweetness, has ruthlessly secured such a staggering position on the rich list. The answer lies in one terrifyingly powerful economic concept that economists in 2026 formally recognize: the Jimin effect. We aren't just talking about selling out a sweater in 10 minutes anymore. By 2026, this phenomenon has evolved into a global market force where his mere association with a product can revive dying heritage brands or launch a startup into the stratosphere overnight. Let's dissect the pillars of this fortune, starting with the tangent-level alliances he forged with Dior and Tiffany & Co. Back in 2023, these were big deals, but fast forward to 2026, and these contracts have likely morphed into unprecedented equity-based partnerships. Imagine this. Every time a Tiffany lock bracelet clicks shut on a wrist in New York, Paris, or Tokyo, a micro percentage of that transaction flows silently into Jimin's coffers. He isn't just an ambassador, he is a stakeholder in the very definition of modern luxury. The stock valuation of these conglomerates likely sees a measurable Jimin spike every time he graces a campaign, making him one of the most valuable human assets in the fashion world. But let's strip away the designer labels and look at the raw artistic revenue. 2026 marks the era where his solo discography, including the history-making Face and the ethereal Muse, has matured into a royalty-generating machine that operates 24/7. Like Crazy isn't just a song, it's a global anthem that continues to rack up streaming numbers that rival current hits, pouring residual income into his account while he sleeps. Furthermore, following his discharge from the military, the demand for a Jimin World Tour in late 2025 or early 2026 would have likely commanded ticket prices that shattered records, with VIP packages selling for the price of a small car, generating tour revenue that goes straight to the profit margin. Now, let's talk about where this money lives. We know about his savvy cash purchase of the prestigious 9-1 Hanam apartment years ago, a move that screamed liquid liquidity rather than debt leverage. By 2026, that property alone has appreciated into a fortress of wealth, likely worth double what he paid, sitting in the heart of Seoul's most fortified celebrity enclave. But rumors in the high-end real estate market suggest he hasn't stopped there. Whispers abound of a quiet, minimalist villa in a secluded part of Jeju, or perhaps a flat in Paris overlooking the Seine, properties that reflect his need for privacy and artistic inspiration. Speaking of art, this is the hidden multiplier in Jimin's portfolio. Unlike the flashy tech investments of others, Jimin's wealth is likely tied up in tangible, appreciating assets, specifically high-end contemporary art. Critics and auctioneers have long suspected that the anonymous buyer snapping up pieces by Korean masters like Kim Wonki or international icons at Freeze Seoul is often an agent acting on Jimin's behalf. These aren't just decorations, they are investment vehicles that outperform the S&P 500, stored in climate-controlled vaults, waiting to be unveiled. We also cannot ignore the family business aspect. The expansion of Magnate, his father's cafe in Busan, into a global pilgrimage site by 2026 creates a steady, recession-proof stream of income that is entirely independent of the entertainment industry, turning a family passion into a legacy franchise. What makes Jimin's financial narrative so compelling is the contrast. He is the member who once punished himself with strict diets and endless practice hours, driven by a fear of not being enough. Now, in 2026, that perfectionism has translated into a brand of such high quality that Park Jimin is a seal of excellence. People pay a premium for anything he touches because they trust his taste. He doesn't flaunt stacks of cash or loud sports cars. His wealth is whispered in the rustle of high-thread count fabrics, the silence of a private jet cabin, and the exclusivity of his circle. He has mastered the art of stealth wealth, looking like $1 million in a plain white t-shirt because the t-shirt is cut from rare Peruvian cotton and the watch peeking out from under the sleeve costs more than a house. In the grand tapestry of BTS's 2026 finances, Jimin represents the luxury sector, a volatile but incredibly high-ceiling market where emotional connection translates directly to dollars. He captures the hearts, and the wallets follow enthusiastically. As we stand in awe of his number 6 ranking, remember this. In a world where attention is the new oil, Jimin owns the drilling rig, the pipeline, and the gas station. He has monetized his very essence, proving that being the it boy is a career path that leads straight to the billionaire's club. The question isn't how much he has, it's whether there is anything left in the world that he can't afford. But if the Prince of Busan is only at number 6, who on earth has the audacity to rank higher? The air is getting thinner, the stakes are getting higher, and the bank accounts are getting heavier. Number 5. Kim Tae-young, the Renaissance tycoon of aesthetics, the social media king who minted a digital empire. Brace yourselves for a journey into the velvet-lined, jazz-infused treasury of the man known to the world as V, the enigma who lands at number 5 on our 2026 wealthy list, not by chasing money, but by letting money chase him in a desperate, breathless pursuit. Kim Tae-young's financial standing in 2026 is a masterclass in the economics of aura, a phenomenon where his distinct, unreplicable vibe translates into a net worth that rivals the GDP of small principalities. How did the boy who once cut his own bangs with craft scissors become a titan sitting on a mountain of gold? Let's dissect the anatomy of this beautiful beast. First, we must address the elephant in the room, or rather, the tiger in the server, his Instagram account. By 2026, Taeyoung's handle is not just a social media profile, it is widely considered the single most valuable digital real estate on the planet. Marketing analysts estimate that a single post from him in 2026, whether it's a blurry photo of a cloud or a high-definition shot of a luxury bag, holds a media impact value, MIV, that shatters the ceiling, commanding fees that would fund a blockbuster movie. Brands don't just pay him, they offer him equity, revenue shares, and creative control just to have his name attached to their existence. We saw the seeds of this with Celine and Cartier, but by 2026, V has transcended ambassador status to become a global muse partner. Rumors swirl that his contracts include clauses for lifestyle royalties, meaning he earns a cut not just from campaigns, but from the overall brand growth in the Asian and American markets. But the cash flow doesn't stop at fashion. We have to talk about his strategic, almost predatory, return to acting. After years of speculation, the industry whispers in 2026 suggest that V finally accepted a leading role in a dark noir thriller series or a Hollywood production, commanding a per-episode paycheck that obliterated the records previously held by veteran actors. This wasn't just a salary, it was a ransom for his time, and the studios paid it gladly, knowing his face on the poster guarantees global streaming dominance. Let's not forget his massive mass-market appeal with brands like Compose Coffee and Siminvest. While high fashion brings prestige, these mass-market deals bring the liquid volume, the cold, hard cash that fills the swimming pools. His face on every street corner in Korea and Southeast Asia created a subconscious omnipresence that funneled millions into his accounts daily. And what about the music? His solo album Layover and the 2024 hit Fry Ends have aged like the fine wine he loves, becoming jazz pop standards that generate steady, heavy royalty checks from cafes, department stores, and playlists worldwide. But the most fascinating part of Taehyung's 2026 wealth is how he invests it. Unlike the tech-heavy portfolios of others, V's assets are tangible, artistic, and incredibly scarce. Real estate insiders in Seoul report that his property portfolio has expanded beyond the Applebaum unit into something far more eccentric, perhaps a sprawling, custom-built compound in the quiet hills of Gyeonggi-do, designed by a Pritzker Prize-winning architect, or a historic chateau in the south of France that he bought on a whim because he liked the sunset view. These aren't just homes, they are habitable art pieces that appreciate in value because V lived there. He is also likely one of the most formidable art collectors in the K-pop sphere. We know his love for painting and photography. In 2026, it is highly probable that his private warehouse holds works by Basquiat, obscure Korean minimalists, and avant-garde sculptors, a collection worth hundreds of millions that sits quietly accumulating value while he plays golf. Speaking of golf, his networking on the green with CEOs and industry moguls has likely opened doors to whisper stocks, private equity opportunities in lifestyle brands, interior design firms, or even jazz clubs that the public doesn't even know he owns. There is a beautiful irony to Kim Taehyung's wealth. He seems the least interested in the numbers, yet the numbers love him the most. He buys what he loves: vintage cameras, rare trumpets, bespoke suits, and somehow, the world decides that whatever he loves is the next it thing, driving up the value of his own possessions. He is the accidental billionaire, the tycoon who would rather talk about Yeontan's new trick than his stock options, and that detachment is exactly what makes him so powerful. In 2026, V stands as a testament to the power of individuality. He proved that you don't need to follow the algorithm to get rich, you just need to be the glitch that everyone is obsessed with. With a bank account as deep as his baritone voice and a lifestyle that looks like a permanent movie set, Kim Taehyung secures the number 5 spot with a smirk and a peace sign. But if the king of aesthetics is only halfway up the list, what kind of financial monsters are lurking in the top 4? The numbers are about to go from impressive to impossible, so don't blink. Number 4. Kim Namjoon, the intellectual tycoon of copyrights, the art patron whose portfolio outperforms Wall Street. We have arrived at the epicenter of smart wealth, the fortress built by the leader, the lyricist, and the philosophical king of the industry, RM. Sitting unshakable at number 4 in 2026 is Kim Namjoon, a man whose financial narrative is less about flashy spending and more about building a dynasty that will outlast us all. Why is the leader here, right at the precipice of the top 3? Because in 2026, RM isn't just an idol, he is a walking, breathing institution. The bedrock of his gargantuan fortune lies in the golden goose that never stops laying eggs. KOMCA, Korea Music Copyright Association. By 2026, Namjoon's credit list has likely swelled to over 250 registered songs, including the timeless global anthems like Spring Day, Butter, and Boy with Louvre. These aren't just songs, they are annuities. Every radio play in Brazil, every karaoke session in Tokyo, every streaming loop in New York sends a micropayment directly to RM. He literally earns money while he waters his bonsai trees. But let's look at the 2026 context. Following his conceptually brilliant solo albums, Indigo and Right Place, Wrong Person, RM has solidified himself not just as a K-pop star, but as a global alternative hip-hop icon. Commanding festival fees for headlining spots at Coachella or Glastonbury that would make your jaw drop. He appeals to the serious music crowd, opening up revenue streams that typical idols can't touch. However, the true dark horse of his wealth in 2026 is his art investment portfolio. While others bought Lamborghinis, Namjoon bought Lee Ufan and Kim Wanki. In the art world of 2026, he is recognized as one of Asia's most influential young collectors. The pieces he bought in 2020 have likely appreciated by 300 to 400% by 2026. He isn't just decorating his walls, he is banking on culture. Rumors in the auction houses of Sotheby's and Christie's suggest that the RM collection is valued in the hundreds of millions, a liquid asset that is immune to market crashes because great art only gets more expensive. Furthermore, we must discuss his position within HYBE. As the foundational member, the one who started it all, it is widely believed that his equity stake and the subsequent dividends are substantial. He isn't just an employee. In spirit and likely in stock options, he is a partner. When HYBE acquires a new label or launches a new tech platform in 2026, RM's net worth ticks up. There is also the cultural diplomat angle. In 2026, RM is the face of modern Korean intellectualism, likely securing lucrative, high-dignity partnerships with tech giants like Samsung or government tourism boards, deals that pay astronomical figures for his credibility. He doesn't sell products, he sells trust. Yet, the beauty of Namjoon's wealth is his monk-like luxury. He lives in a space that feels like a museum, likely a custom-designed residence in the prestigious UN village or a secluded architectural marvel in the mountains, filled with Nakashima wood furniture that costs more than a sports car. He spends his millions on preserving heritage, donating to museums to restore Joseon-era artifacts, acts of philanthropy that paradoxically increase his brand value and social credit, making him untouchable. He is the member who proves that reading books and writing poetry is the most profitable hustle of the 21st century. His ATM balance is a testament to the power of the mind. He didn't just write history, he copyrighted it. In 2026, Kim Namjoon stands as the guardian of the BTS legacy, a man whose wealth is as deep and complex as his lyrics. He has secured a future where his great-grandchildren will be wealthy just because he decided to write a rap verse in a basement in 2013. But if the man who owns the words is only at number 4, who owns the rhythm? Who owns the beat? We are entering the top 3, the holy trinity of BTS wealth, where the numbers stop making sense and start looking like phone numbers. Number 3. Min Yoongi, Suga, the shadow monarch of royalties, the producer king who monetized every breath of the industry. Welcome to the heavy-hitting league, where we find the man who has turned his mind into the most profitable factory on earth, Min Yoongi, the unstoppable Suga, and the alter ego August D. Sitting at number 3 in 2026, Yoongi's wealth is a terrifyingly efficient machine that operates on a level of financial independence that most CEOs only dream of. Why is the man who once sold his songs for food now sitting on a fortune that rivals small tech companies? Because in 2026, Min Yoongi is no longer just a member of BTS, he is a music production conglomerate wrapped in a human form. Let's break down the mechanics of this monetary monster. The cornerstone of his ATM balance is, without a doubt, his KOMCA, Korea Music Copyright Association, standing. By 2026, his registered credits have likely surpassed 180 or even 200 songs, but it's not just the quantity, it's the times quality times of the earners. We are talking about the queen assets, 8, feet, IU, that, with PSY, and the timeless BTS bangers. These tracks are radio staples, streaming giants, and karaoke anthems that generate a constant river-like flow of royalties 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. He makes money when he blinks. He makes money when he drinks his whiskey. He makes money when he breathes. But in 2026, his producer fee has likely skyrocketed into the stratosphere. Industry insiders speculate that a "produced by Suga" tag on a track in 2026 commands a premium fee that is the highest in the K-pop industry, a 6-figure sum just to get him to open his laptop, plus a hefty percentage of the back-end royalties. He has worked with the likes of Coldplay, Halsey, PSY, and Juice WRLD, and by 2026, his Rolodex likely includes heavy hitters from the Western hip-hop world and pop royalty, making him a global super producer. Let's not forget the seismic financial impact of his solo touring. The D-Day tour was just the beginning. By 2026, August D is a touring brand that sells out arenas in minutes without needing a single flashy gimmick, just a man, a mic, and a stage. The profit margins on his solo endeavors are incredibly high because he writes the music, produces the music, and performs the music. He cuts out the middlemen because he times the middleman. Then there is the NBA factor. His ambassadorship with the NBA wasn't just a cute celebrity deal. By 2026, it has likely evolved into a massive lifestyle partnership where Yoongi is the face of NBA Asia, possibly with his own capsule collections or courtside privileges that come with lucrative appearance fees. He sits next to billionaires at Lakers games not just as a guest, but as a peer. And what about his Suchwita empire? What started as a drinking show has, by 2026, become the premier talk show for A-list celebrities in Korea, attracting massive sponsorship deals from top-tier liquor brands and food companies. Yoongi proved he could monetize conversation and alcohol, turning his hobby into a media powerhouse. When we look at his assets, we see the definition of smart money. His real estate portfolio, centered around his luxurious UN Village residence, is a fortress of privacy and appreciation. But the true value lies in his genius lab. By 2026, his private studio is likely equipped with millions of dollars worth of rare, vintage synthesizers, custom-made microphones, and industry-standard tech that appreciates in value just like classic cars. He invests in his craft, and his craft pays him back tenfold. There's also a whispered rumor in 2026 that Yoongi has quietly invested in upcoming music tech startups or audio equipment companies, sitting on boards as a silent director, guiding the future of sound while collecting dividends. But the most emotional part of Yoongi's wealth narrative is where he came from. This is the boy who had to choose between eating noodles or taking the bus home. Now, in 2026, he owns the noodle factory and the bus company, metaphorically speaking. His wealth is the ultimate revenge of the underdog. He doesn't flaunt it with flashy jewelry or loud cars. He wears it in his quiet confidence, in the way he walks, and in the freedom to say no to anything he doesn't want to do. That is the ultimate luxury, the power of refusal. Min Yoongi has achieved F times KU money levels of wealth, where he is untouchable, unbothered, and unbelievably rich. He is the member who looks at the stock market crashing and shrugs because his assets are built on the unshakable foundation of pure talent. In 2026, Suga stands as the shadow king of the list, a reminder that the quietest man in the room is often the one holding all the keys to the vault. But if the genius producer is only at number 3, who in the world is sitting at the top 2 spots? We are entering the danger zone, the realm of wealth so vast it starts to distort reality. Hold your breath, because the final 2 are titans of a different breed. Number 2, Jungkook, J-Hope, the sunshine mogul of real estate, the rhythm master who built a skyscraper of wealth. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the man who doesn't just walk on the street, he owns the street. Landing at the prestigious number 2 spot in 2026 is the one and only J-Hope, a financial force so formidable that Wall Street analysts should probably be studying his dance practice videos for investment tips. Jungkook has long been rumored to be the wealthiest member of the group, and in 2026 he proves that those rumors weren't just gossip, they were prophecies. But why is the sunshine of the group sitting on a mountain of cold, hard cash? Because J-Hope understands one thing better than anyone else: diversification. Let's crack open the vault of the squirrel who stored his nuts in the most lucrative locations on Earth. First and foremost, we must bow down to the real estate king. In 2016, 2018, and 2020, while the world was sleeping, Hobie was buying. He didn't just buy apartments, he bought into the future of Seoul. His legendary acquisitions in the Forest Trimmage and the ultra-exclusive Afur Hangang Park are not just homes, they are the crown jewels of Korean real estate. By 2026, the value of these properties has appreciated to levels that are frankly obscene, turning his property portfolio into an impregnable fortress of wealth. He owns penthouses that look down on the city, symbols of his rise from the streets of Gwangju to the clouds of Seoul. But J-Hope isn't just a landlord, he is a global fashion icon with a capital I. His historic partnership with Louis Vuitton wasn't a standard endorsement, it was a coronation. By 2026, with Pharrell Williams leading the creative charge, J-Hope has likely become the ultimate muse, securing a contract that includes equity-like kickbacks for every campaign he fronts. When J-Hope wears a bag at the airport, it sells out in Dubai, London, and Shanghai within minutes. That kind of conversion rate commands a paycheck that has likely added tens of millions to his account annually. Now, let's talk about the music, specifically the festival god phenomenon. Remember Lollapalooza? That was the spark. By 2026, J-Hope has established himself as the premier headliner for global music festivals. He doesn't just perform, he brings a production value that rivals the Super Bowl. Promoters in 2026 are likely paying him the highest guarantee fee in the industry because they know Hobie-Palooza guarantees ticket sales. His solo discography, Jack in the Box, and Hope on the Street Volume 1, continues to generate massive mechanical royalties, proving that his experimental, old-school hip-hop sound has a loyal, paying audience that appreciates artistry over algorithms. Speaking of Hope on the Street, this docu-series brand has likely expanded by 2026 into a multimedia empire, perhaps a clothing line, a dance academy franchise, or a content production wing that generates revenue while he sleeps. We also cannot ignore his KOMCA credits. As a primary songwriter and composer for BTS's biggest hits, his mailbox is permanently full of royalty checks. But the most striking aspect of J-Hope's wealth is his liquidity. Unlike others who might have their money tied up in slow-moving assets, J-Hope is known for having cash on hand. He is the member who famously bought luxury apartments in all-cash deals, a move that signals a level of liquid wealth that is terrifying to comprehend. He is the cash king. Yet, despite this immense fortune, he remains the humble, organized, and discipline-driven leader of the dance team. He spends his money on art, buying massive, whimsical pieces by artists like KAWS and Murakami that reflect his colorful personality, turning his home into a gallery that is worth more than most museums. He donates silently and heavily to education and animal welfare, using his wealth to spread the very hope his name promises. In 2026, Jungkook Sok represents the steady hand of wealth. He isn't volatile, he is consistent, he is smart, and he is always 3 steps ahead of the beat. He proved that you can be the nice guy, the mood maker, and still be the shark who owns the ocean. His ATM balance is a testament to hard work, precision, and a refusal to compromise on quality. He built his empire brick by brick, beat by beat, and now he stands at the summit, looking down at a world he conquered with a smile and a body roll. But here is the spine-chilling question. If the real estate baron and the festival god is only at number 2, who in the name of all that is holy has surpassed him? Who has crossed the trillion mark? We are about to meet the anomaly, the supernova, the one who broke the scale. Number 1. Jungkook, the golden emperor of pop, the global supernova who shattered the trillion-1 barrier. Stop everything you are doing and bow down to the king. Sitting on a throne made of platinum records and global adoration, the undisputed number 1, the man who has officially surpassed the legendary trillion mark in net worth estimation, in South Korean won terms, but approaching the billion-dollar club in USD, is none other than Jungkook. If the other members are tycoons, Jungkook is a separate economy entirely. How did the youngest member, the shy boy with big doe eyes, become the financial apex predator of 2026? The answer is a terrifyingly perfect storm of talent, timing, and global domination that we haven't seen since the days of Michael Jackson. Let's dissect the anatomy of this trillion-1 monster. First, we must look at the primary engine of his wealth, the golden era that never ended. His solo debut album Golden didn't just break records in 2023, it set up a royalty stream that flows like the Amazon River. By 2026, tracks like 7, Standing Next to You, and 3D have joined the pantheon of forever hit songs that are played at every wedding, every club, every gym, and every radio station in the world, every single day. The streaming revenue alone from Spotify and Apple Music in 2026 is estimated to be enough to fund a small country's space program. But 2026 is the year of the Jungkook World Tour. Industry insiders report that his solo stadium tour spanning the Americas, Europe, and Asia was the highest-grossing tour by an Asian act in human history. We are talking about selling out Wembley, SoFi, and Tokyo Dome not just once, but for multiple nights back-to-back. The ticket revenue, combined with the merchandise sales, where t-shirts sell out faster than they can be printed, has injected hundreds of millions of dollars of liquid cash directly into his veins. Then there is the face of the century factor. His partnership with Calvin Klein wasn't just a contract, it was a cultural reset. By 2026, Jungkook is likely the global muse with a lifetime contract, a deal rumored to be the most expensive in fashion history, giving him equity in the brand's specific lines. When Jungkook walks through an airport in 2026 wearing a specific brand of boots or drinking a specific kombucha, the stock price of those companies jumps visibly on the Nasdaq. This is the Jungkook effect weaponized into pure profit. Brands are reportedly offering him blank check deals, literally asking him to name his price just to hold a product for 5 seconds on a live stream. Speaking of live streams, let's talk about his lifestyle empire. While he claims to just be hanging out, his Weverse lives have become the most valuable advertising slots in the world. But in 2026, rumor has it that Jungkook has quietly invested in the things he loves, a high-end, franchising Korean barbecue chain that brings authentic flavors to the globe, or perhaps a premium pet lifestyle brand inspired by his Doberman, Bam. These ventures don't need marketing. They just need his name to generate billions in turnover. And where does the trillion-won man live? We all saw the news of him building a massive, fortress-like mansion in the exclusive Brunnan Cheongdam or Itaewon area years ago. By 2026, that construction is complete, and it is less a house and more a private resort. Real estate experts value his primary residence alone at astronomical figures: a 5-story vertical palace equipped with a private cinema, a professional-grade recording studio, a gym that rivals national training centers, and a security system that would make the Pentagon jealous. This property is the crown jewel of a real estate portfolio that likely includes hidden vacation villas in pristine locations like Jeju, or even private islands in Southeast Asia, offering him the one thing money can't usually buy: absolute silence and privacy. But the most terrifying and beautiful thing about Jungkook's wealth in 2026 is his attitude towards it. He is the anti-CEO. He doesn't wear suits to board meetings. He wears oversized hoodies. He doesn't talk about stocks. He talks about cooking recipes and highballs. This authenticity is exactly why the world throws money at him. He is the people's prince, the relatable genius who just happens to be richer than God. He spends his fortune on experiences, flying his entire family and friends on private jets, donating massive, undisclosed sums to children's hospitals and animal shelters, and funding production for junior artists without asking for credit. Surpassing the trillion mark isn't just a number for Jungkook, it's a testament to excellence. He proved that if you focus entirely on being the best performer, the best singer, and the most hardworking artist, the money follows in avalanches. He is the golden standard, the outlier, the one who defied gravity. In 2026, Jungkook stands alone at the top of the mountain, looking out at a horizon that he owns. He is the top one, the trillion-won titan, and the scary part? He is still young, he is just getting started. The golden age isn't over, it's just beginning. And there you have it. We have traversed the dizzying heights of the top 7, witnessing a level of wealth that feels almost like science fiction. From Jin's timeless asset management to Jungkook's trillion-won empire, we have seen how the boys from the small, dusty practice room in Nanyang-dong have conquered the financial world in 2026. The numbers are staggering, the assets are blinding, and the power is undeniable. But as we close this chapter of financial awe, let's take a moment to look beyond the zeros in their bank accounts. Because the most expensive thing on this list isn't the Hanam villas, the private jets, or the copyright royalties. The true miracle of 2026 isn't that they became billionaires, it's that after all the fame, all the money, and all the power, they are still the same 7 men who share a single bowl of noodles and laugh until they cry. Their ATM balances have changed, but their hearts haven't. They prove to the world that you don't have to sell your soul to own the world. You can reach the summit with kindness, with hard work, and with your brothers by your side. They taught us that wealth isn't just about what you keep, it's about what you give, how you inspire, and the legacy you leave behind. In the end, the most valuable asset in their portfolio isn't a stock or a building. It is the number 7 itself. It is the bond that money can't buy, and the army that stands behind them, a currency of love that will never devalue. So, the next time you look at your own dreams and feel like they are too far away, remember the boys who started with nothing but a beat and a dream. If they can rewrite the history of the global economy, imagine what you can do. The story of BTS isn't just about getting rich, it's about proving that miracles happen when you refuse to give up. Thank you for joining us on this extraordinary journey into the vaults of Bangtan. Keep dreaming big, keep streaming loud, and remember, the best moment is yet to come.